All right, time now for our latest KOIN Conversation. I'm Jamie Hudson, and I am so excited for this KOIN Conversation because we're going to reminisce a little bit about the Portland Fire days back in the early 2000s. And to do that, I'm very honored to be joined by former WNBA star from 2000 to 2003. She was here with the Fire and also slam dunk contest winner, and the list goes on and on. Now a best-selling author right here, Sylvia Crawley. Sylvia, thanks so much for hanging out with me today.
Thank you for having me, Kelly.
So excited to have you. Sylvia, let's take it back for a moment. Some of your favorite memories with your time here at the with the Fire. Like when you think back to that time, what are some things that you think about?
I immediately think about the inaugural season because that was history. And I can remember practice leading into the inaugural game. Our coaches would often say, like, this is a chance to make history. Like, we don't have any starters. So in training camp, she was like, you're fighting for a starting position. Like, we don't have starters, we don't have stars, like nothing's ever been done here. It's wide open. And it was just like, they just took the lids off, took all the limits off. And we were like, wow, like we could be a starter in the WNBA. And so I just remember the inaugural game, how nervous we were. We were a brand new franchise. We had nothing to lose. So we were the underdog for every single game. And so for that initial game, I won the first ever jump ball. I grabbed the first ever rebound. Everything that happened, I was like, they were like, yeah, you got the first ever. I was like, I grabbed a rebound. They were like, this is the first ever rebound. I think Sophia Witherspoon scored the first basket. We're like, that's the first basket ever. I had the first block shot. And then later that year, I had a goaltending violation. And we were excited
Oh,
about that. I think I'm in the record books for the first goaltending violation ever in the history of the WNBA.
oh my
But it
God.
happened during the inaugural season. And I was like cheering, and people were like, you do realize that's a negative stat, right? So I'm like, yeah, but have you ever heard of a woman goaltending before? Like, this is amazing.
That is
I didn't
amazing.
realize I did it till the whistle blew, and they were like, the referees were confused. Like, they had never made this call. It's like, they had to go to the cameras and review it and was like, goaltending. And I was one cheering, like,
Tell me you got the game ball that day. Did you?
I
That game?
did not.
Okay.
But it was just an exciting year, the whole entire year. The fans were just excited, whether we won or lost. They were just happy to be there. Like, we had radical fans. I don't want to jump the gun because I know you're going to ask about the fans because they were so incredible. But that's one of the things that like stood out in my mind is like the inaugural season and just how the fans just they were on board, win or lose, rain or shine. They they just loved their Portland Fire.
Yeah, that's the thing, Sylvia. There's a lot of people out there, across the country. They're like, oh, well, the Portland Fire, maybe they didn't do so well the first round and didn't have the support, but you all did have that from the fans. There was just a lot, I know, behind the scenes. But now, Sylvia, thinking about the Portland Fire returning, when you found out the W was expanding and coming back to Portland, what were you thinking?
I was excited because people were mourning when the fire folded. I'm
Yeah.
talking literally crying. They were in my inboxes. They were signing petitions to get the team back for years. And then finally they just kind of like stopped eventually. But when I heard it was coming back, I just thought about all the fans who just weren't ready for it to end. And in our defense, let me just tell you, because I saw something that said that we never made it to the playoffs, so it was an
Mm.
unsuccessful attempt or something like that. Let me remind people that this is the first year that a new franchise actually got to draft from players throughout the league, right? So the Valkyries and the success that they're having is because they learned from Portland Fire and Cleveland Rockers and the Miami Soul and the Orlando Miracle and how it was done. Like we were all new people. We got invited into training camp, right? And so a lot of people don't know my story, but I came from the ABL. There were 90 of us who lost our jobs. There were 20 spots open in the WNBA for those 90 players.
Wow.
We all knew each other. We were all friends. They gave us a jersey. They put us in this dispersal camp. And so they gave us a jersey with a number on the back, and we fought each other like cats and dogs for those 20 spots. And so the draft came and went, and my name was never called. And I was predicted to go second round because I had just won a blindfolded dunk for the ABL,
Mm-hmm.
right? First women's slam dunk contest ever in the history of women. And so they were like, oh, for sure, she'll go second round because they need somebody to guard Lisa Leslie and Tina Thompson and Yolanda Griffith. Like every team had a powerful center, right?
Yes.
So the draft came and went. My name was never called. I went to Italy. They're like, oh, just keep the dream alive. If this is really your dream, and they thought I wasn't strong enough to play. That was the feedback that I got. You're just not physically strong enough. The WNBA is a little more physical than the ABL was. And I'm like, what?
Hmm.
It's the same players. So I went to Italy, worked on my game, tried to gain weight, which that didn't happen. I was like the Dewana Bonner of the league. I was
Mm.
super, super thin, but just wiry, strong, feisty.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Bonner. And so that year, Portland Fire, Cleveland Rockers, Orlando Miracle, and Miami Soul had a new franchise. We all got invited to the training camps. So the draft, they didn't piecemeal the teams and pull stars from other teams. We were all new people. So there were seniors from college who graduated and were invited, and then newcomers, or people who didn't make the last draft. And so we kind of consider ourselves like the misfits. Like nobody picked us, and we had like a major chip on our shoulders, and we just went out there like the underdog. We love being the underdogs. We're like, hey, we got nothing to lose and everything to gain. And just Linda Hargrove and Jesse Kinlaw, they believed in me and my teammates, and we loved them for that. Like we would run through a brick wall for them because they chose us when nobody else did. And so, we didn't win every game, but people left out of the Rose Garden knowing that they had been in a battle. Let me just tell you that. They were probably sore the next day. They were tired. We would lose games by like 2 points and 4 points. And like it would just, I remember being in the locker room just crying because we got this close and we just didn't pull it out. And every game, we learned something new. So we like got better and better. And just when we were figuring it out is when our team folded. We were like, what? We were going to have such a great year the next year. And that was the year that the NBA opened it up for every NBA franchise to buy their WNBA franchise. And unfortunately, the Trailblazers just decided not to keep us. And so
Mm-hmm.
our team folded and we got dispersed. We went to a dispersal draft and we dispersed into other teams. But so in our defense, we didn't have trades from other programs to have staple players,
Yeah.
like a Kelsey Plum to just come to the team. So we pretty much started from scratch, and we were very proud of what we were able to create. The fans were very proud of our Portland Fire team. And we cannot leave out Spot the Fire Dog because
I was going to ask about him.
he played a very important role in what we did. The fans, the kids, they love Spot. We love Spot. Every time we had an appearance, Spot was there. Like Spot was more famous than all of us because nobody knew us at first, but they knew Spot, the fire dog. And Spot was doing all the school appearances before we all got there. So he was at the schools, he was at the Cinco de Mayo festivals, he's at all the festivals downtown Portland. So everybody loves Spot the fire dog. And so we actually thought we had one of the best mascots in the league.
Oh my gosh, Sylvia, I really hope that Spot is coming back. I haven't heard yet, but I hope so.
Oh my goodness. It just won't be Portland Fire without Spot or a version of Spot. Like, can Spot have some pups? I don't know.
There we go. Yeah, we got to take this idea to the fire right now. No, Sylvia. So while I have you, let's go back to your dunk because, of course, I have that video. I want to pull it. I want you to walk me through the blindfolded dunk when you won that contest back in '98. Yes.
97 maybe. You're telling my
97?
age
Okay.
right now, but
No, no. Okay, just back then.
so this was at the Disney World Resort, I think it was called, and it was
Okay.
the All-Star
Oh,
game. And this was the first year where they took out the men's dunk contest. So having a female dunk contest, we got lots of media attention. So this is actually on Fox TV, Fox Network. Um, I felt like if I felt comfortable on the day of, and I practiced the day of doing this blindfold dunk, and I connected every single time I practiced. So my sister put the blindfold dunk on me. I walked out 10 steps, ran in 4 or 5, I think, and the rest is history. And everybody just piled on top of me, messed up. They've never seen my hair messed up. So they just wanted to shuffle my hair and mess it up. And but it was just an exciting time. I remember the WNBA called my agent that day. Like I'm talking the same hour that it happened. And they said, "What do we need to do to get her? We will blow this out of proportion." And the ABL said, "What do we need to do to keep you?" And I was shut in a room with my sister and my agent. And we were negotiating right there at the table. And I got traded to Portland Power right then on the spot.
yes, of the ABL, right?
ABL. I'm a player ever traded themselves. I traded myself to Portland Power. I played for Lynn Dunn. And I immediately went on tour. So I was on the Keenan Ivory Wayans show. I was on Sinbad's night show called Vibe. I was on Jay Leno's show. I was on Good Morning America. I was traded to a new team and hadn't even been to practice yet. So I called my coach and I was like, "Coach, I'm so sorry I'm missing practice." She's like, "Hey, you're the face of the league. Go, go,
Yeah.
go." I said, "What about the play?" She said, "Hey, when we pass you the ball, shoot it." And I was like, "Okay, I can do that." So I'm like on tour. And so shortly after that tour, so I created a new contract for the next season, right? And but we were like still our season was still going on because this was the All-Star game. So the All-Star game is normally halfway through your season. So I went to Portland, ended up playing games, and then we got a call saying that our league had folded. And so
Mm.
that's kind of where the players from the ABL kind of merged into the WNBA, and now the WNBA is what you see it today. And so we felt we when before the league folded, there were cuts that happened. Like we used to stay at the Ritz Hotel, and then we were staying at the W Hotel, and then we were kind of like at the Holiday Inn, and we're like, wait a minute, we went to the Ritz,
Yeah.
taking, charter buses to the airplane, and then we were on like a 10-passenger white van to the airport. And we were like, wait a minute, what happened to our charter bus? So when I switched to the WNBA, my second year while I was at Portland Fire, there started to be cuts. Like cuts were happening, like just where we were staying, how we were flying. And I was like, wait a minute, this feels very familiar. Like
Mm.
we if the league would survive. And so what you're seeing today in the WNBA, like sold out crowds and charter flights and all the things that the players get, like the tunnel fits and all that kind of stuff. Like this was the day that we actually prayed for. We did not know if the league would survive this long. We felt like by the time we have kids, like this might all be gone. But we prayed that somehow it would still be around, that when we were little girls, we didn't have any role models to watch on TV. Like little girls are watching the playoffs literally right now
Mhm.
and modeling their game. Like somebody's in their driveway trying to be the next Caitlin Clark, and somebody is in the gym trying to be the next Asia Wilson or the next Angel Reese, or the next, Copper or Guma K or, like Skylar Diggins, whoever. We had to watch Michael Jordan. We watched Charles Barkley. We watched, Hakeem Olajuwon, and we tried to pattern our games after them. And so now these little girls, they have role models. I train athletes, and we play a game when they shoot free throws. It's called Beat the Pro. So I'm like, okay, who's your favorite player? Who do you want to beat? And they're like, I want to beat Enrique, or I want to beat Paige. So I'm like, all right, you got 2 points. If you make it, you get 1 point. If you miss, Paige has 2 points. Let's go. You're gonna shoot 10 free throws. Let's see who wins. Like little girls can actually play a game like that and name their favorite WNBA players. You can actually play video games with your favorite WNBA player. So it's like this is the day that we prayed that would happen. What is this now? Is this our 30th anniversary? 29th year?
29th, I think.
29th year. 29 years of WNBA.
I
And
know.
so yeah, we're super excited. I'm like the auntie of the league. I'm online, and if you are saying anything bad about any of the players, I am coming out like a mama cub bear, like leave them alone. You don't know them. It's like people feel like they know these players. I'm like, you don't know her. She's
Right.
actually a nice person. She's competitive on the court. She's a very nice person off the court. Leave her alone. Let her play her game. So I'm so here for it. I'm so here for it. I'm loving what I'm seeing. It's just getting bigger and better to see. Like, here's the part that blows my mind when I go to the Final Fours or I go to the WNBA All-Star game and I see people walking to the game, like thousands of people walking to the game, and I'm taking it all in. Like, there's buildings, not billboards, but there's buildings with murals that have like Asia Wilson on it or like Caitlin Clark on the buildings. Like in Indianapolis, like there were literally murals on the buildings. Like they painted their building this. And there's people walking and there's men with WNBA gear on. Used to be like if you had some gear, people knew I played in the WNBA because they're like, "Oh, you played in the league," because you couldn't buy this. Couldn't buy this shirt. Couldn't buy WNBA socks that I used to wear. People be like, "Oh, she playing in the league. Look at her socks." Now anybody could have these socks on. You know what I mean? And now
Yeah.
you see men proudly wearing a WNBA t-shirt and a hat. And they don't have a problem that it's a woman basketball player on their shirt. Like that's how you know it's 2025. It's a new day. So those are the things as I'm walking to the game, I'm just like, wow, like this is really happening. The day we pray for is actually manifesting right before my eyes. And it's just, I can almost cry when I'm sitting at the games because I'm so proud of everything that's happening. And so to know that Portland Fire is resurrecting, I'm like, the fans that when I tell you it's going to be bananas in there because like we had the loudest, even the teams, like we would play the Sparks, we would play the Comets. The Comets were like the champions, 3-time champions, right? Nobody's
Right.
broken their record yet. But when they came to our arena, they would say to us, like, you guys have these fans are crazy about y'all. Like, this is insane. Like, even they would say, like, it's insane in here. So just the atmosphere, the love that we got throughout the city. Like we would go to restaurants and we would have to pay for food. They'd be like, "Oh, you guys play for Portland Fire? Come on in." Like we had our cars, we had sponsors for our trucks that we drove, our apartments that we lived in. We lived in Beaverton and they sponsored, we lived for free, we ate for free, we drove for free. It was bananas. Like and I've played in 16 different countries. I've played on many different teams, but I've never felt the the energy that I felt in Portland. It just was different. It just hit differently.
That is so amazing, Sylvia. And so when you are here in Portland next season for the inaugural Fire season, we got to catch up, okay? When you
There
promise me?
court, I will be there courtside.
Yes. I love it. Okay, thank you so much, Sylvia, for taking time out of your busy schedule. I really appreciate it, and thanks for joining us on our Coin Conversation.
And I just want to shout out all the former Portland Fire players. We're also here for it. So the Tella Bevilacquas, they're going to be there. Hopefully, Demaya Walker, Elisa Burris, Tamisha Jackson,
Yes. Jackie
Chris
Styles.
Giles, how could you
Yes.
forget? Sophia Witherspoon, Kristen Focal, Vanessa Nygaard,
Oh,
Stacey Price, the list. Vonda Ward, the list. Oh no, I'm not Vonda Ward. Van Gorp.
right.
How could I ever forget Van Gorp? And then you gotta have Linda Hargrove and Jesse Kinlaw and Jenny Moe, who was Oregon's like finest. She should do the honorary tip jump ball. Like they literally, I mean, she went to Oregon.
Yeah,
She
that
was
would be perfect.
perfect. Jenny Moe was Portland fired, So I just hope that all of those players, I get to see them all again. And I would love nothing more than an alumni day to cheer on the current team that's gonna emerge from this. And yeah, I'm super excited. I can barely sleep right now. When is the tip off? Do we know what the inaugural tip off is
I
gonna be?
know. I
Is it gonna
know.
be called the inaugural tip off? Like if it's a team that resurrects, I have so many questions. Like if this team resurrects, is it gonna be the inaugural season again? Or how's that work?
Right. I know because they keep saying fire reborn. So I don't know. That's a good question, Sylvia.
I'm so here for it. However it manifests, we won't be mad like they're really only man. No, there's no malice, no. We're still here for all of it. However it happens and unfolds, like we just want to see it happen.
Oh, yes. We're so excited here in Portland as well, Sylvia. So I'll be looking out for you in this upcoming season when you make your way back to PDX.
All right, I'll see you there.
All right. Thanks, Sylvia.
Fire.